and
You're quitting GA?
yeah, I'm quitting GA.
I was the one that personally knocked main deck Dan out of
Yes.
top 8.
This honestly is the first meta call that I've seen, like watching from the outside, that was similar to our Houston call.
Yeah, they obviously did amazing.
Yeah.
It is also the worst deck that we've ever seen in Grand Archives history. It is, though. Thank you to Weaves of the Shore, aka Grand Archive, for sponsoring this video.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Team True podcast, a Grand Archive podcast. I'm your host, Isaac, a very tired host. Joined with me is another tired host, Caban. There's a fly around here.
I know. I went to wave, but also get the fly around. Yep.
And then joined with me, a less tired host, Terry. Yeah.
That's the energy you guys need.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fly, we had to bring in your guys' luggage and stuff. A couple flies snuck in.
Yeah.
So if you see me trying to catch it during this podcast, all you visual watchers,
We are.
I'm gonna catch it.
We are right off the plane. Me
Yeah.
and Isaac.
We
Isaac
are-
and me.
yeah.
Isaac and I. I'm too tired. to figure out
We're off the plane.
yes.
Yeah, we didn't go to bed until past 12.
Yep.
We woke up around 4.
Yep.
Well, yeah, 4 to catch a ride on an Uber to our flight, which left at 6 or something like that, and then drove to our house an hour and a half away my house, and then found out I had to go to my parents' house.
Yep.
Drove there, and then did something for them, and then came back here, and then
Lift some really heavy stuff.
Yes.
So now we're
Yeah.
physically tired
Yeah.
and mentally tired.
Yes.
Yeah. But we wanted to give you guys a,
Yeah.
previously for a sense, sometimes we've skipped podcasts, we've
Yeah.
skipped content weeks, but content
Not
this
anymore,
year.
baby.
You guys are getting good quality content on
Yeah.
time. So no podcast interruptions.
Yeah. The content
Or
grind has
delays.
been real.
yeah.
As maybe apparent to Caban's run. We'll talk about that soon.
Well, well, yes, yes. But also, it was really cool because, we've had also people of the community say some really nice things to us before. In a sense, hey, I love your content, stuff like that. It was significant this time. Like the amount of people that were like, "Hey, you guys have been doing really
cool.
good content." Oh, you didn't have this at all?
No.
Well, he
I
was
guess you were-
busy.
You were kind of like
Yeah,
stuck.
he was busy.
Oh, yeah.
You were kind of in your own area. I was on the floor.
one
I
or
was
two
at
people.
trade night. I was at the
Table
vending
100
booth for all that time.
Not
Man,
that-
you're just really gonna
not
get
that
on me this podcast, aren't you?
I'm trying to get your energy up. See when you give him a little bit of dog and look at it, he's smiling over there, dude. He came over. He's like this when we started.
Dude,
We're getting ready,
You should have seen when we woke up
but
this
he's already
morning.
been smiling this whole morning.
Caven woke up this morning, hood on, walked through the airport. I go, "Hey, do you want a fruit snack or some bars?" And he's like,
No,
I was like, "You did not
He was
not
a
even like a
sleepy
verbal,
boy.
yeah."
Yeah.
So
no, but all jokes aside, you did hit your goal, and that's something that I wanted to
Yes,
make sure we said. We set our goal. We knew the expectations.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you for doing that.
yeah. No, I mean, I was super proud. That
I was proud of you.
Thank
even
you.
though you didn't make day 2, but I'm still proud of you.
That was I was telling people so for those who don't know, I casted alongside Main Deck Dan and Once in Love, Boston Ascent, and it's no less tiring for me at least.
Oh, I bet.
Playing, and
It's a lot of talking.
but a lot less anxiety inducing.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because we were dude, I was losing my mind Friday night.
Yeah.
I made a million tiny little deck choices,
Caban
so
Classic.
many.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I was freaking out. I was ready to switch up a lot of stuff. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And Isaac was just standing there, just eating his food. He's like, "All right, I think I'm gonna go to bed."
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there with Neelix and River and Zach and just
Those guys were messaging me like crazy.
Yeah.
About one change.
Yeah.
One change here. And sometimes completely talking about changing their deck completely.
Yeah.
And I was just like, take a deep breath.
Yeah. Dude, the amount of times that I put because I was on 1 Regal in the main, 3 in the side.
Yeah.
The amount of times that I put that 1 Regal in the main in and out of the side, at least 7 times.
That's
No
crazy.
exaggeration.
Yeah.
And every single time I would do it, I'd be like, dude, this makes so much sense. This is
Yeah.
perfect. Blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah. And then 30 seconds later, I'm like,
No,
wait,
no.
but this just, you can't do this. It was pretty bad.
No. I mean, I think you made a really good choice. I think Jin was very well positioned.
So it was funny too because the one of the reasons that I did start making a million little decisions was because I had actually talked to some of the other Jin players that night,
Yeah.
the night of. So we went to trade night.
Yeah.
Our whole Airbnb squad went to trade night.
I got a cool trade to show you later.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
can't wait.
But yeah, we all got some really cool stuff actually.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. Definitely recommend doing that if you haven't gone to an
I was so bummed I had to miss it.
Go,
I got a
go
bunch
to
of your
trade
cards,
night,
though. I have a bunch of your cards.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Dude, 5 people came up to me this is for Tara. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a lot of deals going.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so part of trade night, near the end, I was kind of just hanging out with some of the players, and we kind of like leaked each other's deck list to each other and found out that we were on the same thing and compared lists, which is not something I've done before. Usually, we're like super secretive, like very. But I was just like, let's compare. And dude, their Jin list was like, I mean, it was the SoCal group basically. Their list was so different from mine, and like it got me really nervous because like they were on like 4 proof of life. Right?
They were proofs
and relentless.
Relentless, all that.
They were also on the heal attack. They played like
Savage Thunder.
Yeah. Which I've tested all of those cards in Jin, and I just like. It just wasn't my play style. Like, obviously their list is good. Like Vegan
almost made it.
Vegan had
I was so heartbroken. I was talking with him the whole time. Dude.
I know. Vegan literally had like the like heartbreak, like tragic hero story of this Ascent.
True 10 at core TCG.
Yeah. Speaking of Vegan, but yeah, I mean, first off, quick shout out to him because for those of you that don't know, Vegan or Alexander on Discord is a manager at core TCG. Yeah. And part of our partnership sponsorship, and he mainly like runs the store, fans events,
doesn't get to play much.
He doesn't test much. And he has had really good event runs for the amount of practice.
He's a very good player.
Yeah, like I think
scary.
Yeah, he's it's like Andy.
Yeah,
like Andy doesn't test much, but when he plays, he like is right there.
I played against Andy once, and he 2-0'd me. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, this feels terrible. Like, it was like with like clockwork music box erupting too. Like, it was just
that's one of my favorite
erupting out.
But yes, I mean, I'm pretty sure Vegan tested less than I did for this event. And I already tested a extremely small amount. People were like asking me at the event, like, like, how do you think you're gonna do and stuff like that. And I was like, I practiced like 1/50th of how much I normally practice or something.
That might be giving yourself a benefit.
I was telling some people 1/50th, and I was telling some people 1/100.
That's probably closer, to be honest.
And so like that's why my goal is day 2. Blah blah blah, all that. But like Vegan tested probably less than I did, and he literally should have made top 8. He got a down pair when he could have ID'd in on his last turn. It's very, very tragic. And then he played into a very punishing matchup for the first time. So he played Vanitas in the last round, and he hadn't played it yet. I was literally he like saw his pairings, and like we were like heading to our seats, and he was like, I haven't played this yet. And I was like, I sat there for like 2 minutes just telling him everything I could think of about the matchup as like quickly as I could. And that was his like prep going into his winning in for top 8. It was a very, very unfortunate round.
And still just there.
But like I know like he has like he really wanted it because not a lot of people know who he is. Like, and the people that do know who he is, he's like, oh well, he's the guy that like runs core basically, and it's just like, no, he's a good player. He just hasn't had his time to shine and doesn't get the time to play. But there are many people like that in GA, like but anyway, so I just want a quick shout out him.
I was watching his run. I was so stoked for him when round 10 he played against Superior on stream, which was like heartbreaking for me. Because those were the 2 guys I was rooting for other than Caban were literally those 2. And I was like, no, dude, like this round.
A little behind the scenes. So Superior and Alexander. Okay, we know them as Jim and
Vegan.
And but for those who know, when casting, you're supposed to use their username. Another person, but because I know them pretty, like I constantly kept saying their name, and I'd get someone over the head second saying, "Please use their username." I'm like,
because the usernames are displayed on the stream, so it's easier for a viewer that doesn't know the players to track along and stuff.
No, for sure. No, it was a great match. Really I was so glad it went to game 3 because. As we know, that matchup's pretty doomed. For the suited player, they have to draw extremely well.
He played really.
He played fantastic.
I mean, it's Jim. It's Superior.
I got 2-0'd by suited, by the way.
It's closer than I think.
It is.
It's the assassin variant though, right?
Yes.
That you played against.
He never went level 1.
But does he play in caps and stuff? Did he in cap you?
No.
Oh, never mind. You just lost.
Yeah,
okay, that's
lost.
fair.
He lost to allies.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Which is supposed to be one of the best
if you have a slower hand, or you're like they have an incredibly aggressive hand, and you have to go to no influence. Then you have to have the card, and like if they materialize properly and play it right, they still can win. But they have like one turn where they can win the game. If they don't win that turn, it ends.
Yeah,
the game ends.
Correct.
And that's what happened with Jim's game. He literally had the one turn. He did it. Vegan literally had a ton of outs didn't draw one, and then went, "Yep, you got it. Let's go to the game 3."
Yeah.
So like, there's one turn, and so I was glad we got to see it. But I do think the assassin variant is, for this particular meta, was the best one.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually, for you Patreon members, I'm going to be putting out a suited article here in the next week or two that deep dives into the concept of what the deck is and archetypes that are tribal based, and talks about kind of a history of that a little bit, as well as deck lists of different options that you can play. So that'll be really cool for level 3+ Patreon members.
Or if you don't want to go to Patreon, which is linked below in the description, our YouTube membership is finally up, right?
It might be. We'll see if we can post
I thought it was, but I might be springing this on Isaac.
Well, no, it's set up right now.
Yeah.
Nothing is in it. The issue is articles. I don't know if we can do...
I might just be able to post it as a text.
I thought
maybe like a link.
We definitely can post the text.
I'll figure it out. I'll dig into it.
Post a link to a Google Doc or something like that? I don't know.
I'll figure it out. Or like to a PDF or something.
But YouTube membership ball is rolling.
That's awesome.
Expect content there soon if you want to.
And I know we were working on the podcasts too, so this should be up. This one might not be. I'm going to work on it. I might be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
So
we had some hiccups. We had
some really annoying
contact
hiccups.
Some
support.
Yeah.
But we should have them up soon.
Content has been our number one goal.
Yes.
So kind of jumping way back because we kind of derailed, but a lot of people did talk to me about how good the content has been lately. Because like we always get the generic like, hey, you guys like kill it on the YouTube channel and stuff like at Ascent, which is always super nice to hear. But like, it was like 10x the amount of people that normally say that said that to me, and like had like a longer conversation about it. They were talking about like how much effort it looks like we're putting in, how grateful they are that the podcast is on YouTube now and all that kind of stuff. So
that's awesome.
Shout out to Weebs for sponsoring it.
Yeah, shout out.
And bringing the podcast to YouTube and stuff. It's been a great experience. Yeah. We're going to try to keep it more to the hour-long podcast because I've been rambling like crazy and making them hour and a half.
Yeah, people do love it.
I know, but...
closer to an hour is.
I will say,
I feel like if we start to have hour and a half as our standard, we're gonna get into the 2 hour plus territory, and I just don't. We can't do that.
Or like if we put out like a 40-minute one, then it's gonna feel bad because we put out an hour and a half one.
Yeah. So we're gonna shoot for around an hour ish for podcasts, but it may go longer or shorter. Yeah.
But I think that's a good goal. And I know people have been really digging. A lot of people have been reaching out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it out of the way right away. A lot of people have reached out. Thank you guys so much to everybody who reached out. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to Boston.
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to it, to seeing all you guys, to get to talk about this stuff, and also to get to compete at the first Ascent of the DTR season. But had some family things come up. Not going to talk about that here on the podcast, but thank you to everybody who reached out. It really meant a lot. I really appreciate it. This community is fantastic. I can't say that enough. I know you guys hear me talk about that all the time, but it really meant a lot because I was pretty bummed that I didn't get to make it out. I was really feeling that fear of missing out, that FOMO this weekend. So
yeah, you were definitely missed.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
I got way more people asking about where you were and how you're doing and if you're okay, more so than our content was good. So or that I was casting well.
Oh wow.
So I think that was the most number one topic there.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
You know, silver lining. Thanks for caring, guys.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about your gin run?
Sure. Let's talk about my gin run.
We'll talk about your gin run. Then we'll talk about the Ascent as a whole. We'll talk about some of the breakout decks.
Some casting things.
We'll talk about some casting things.
All right. Welcome to the standard segment of our podcast where Caban talks for 20 minutes.
I love it.
Should I get up? I'm kind of hungry. And
you go make your food.
Oh, it's the Pringles over there.
Oh, did you bring them over?
I forgot to eat them.
Oh my goodness.
So gin, I probably decided 4 or 5 days before Boston that I was just gonna bring gin.
And you were still talking about switching.
Yeah,
a couple days before, but we were kind of like,
we made a video.
We made a video.
I made a video, and that helped me commit to it. I did. It was funny because you guys have seen that video now. It's getting. It was posted on Monday.
Oh, it was.
And this is getting posted to YouTube on Wednesday. Patreon on Tuesday. And so in the gin video, you know, I explained that there's some card choices that I might have cut and stuff like as you know, when we did the like Tristan video for Taipei, when we pre-recorded that like a week and a half before Ascent Taipei, which was a very long time, we barely made any changes. I think we literally changed like arrow trap in the side to account for slimes, and that was like kind of it. Honestly, I'm pretty sure from memory.
Pretty close to that.
This one, not as much. I think a lot of the Jin lists did say the same. Like the identity of the deck stayed the same for sure. I did just mess around with a lot more counts and stuff this time, even the stuff that I was like pretty dead set on. But so yeah, like it is my list that I did play is a little different than our YouTube list on Monday, but like I said, the identity is pretty much the same. It still operates in the same function, and I was really happy with the list. So. Yeah, I decided I had so many people ask me while I was on Jin, so I'm gonna talk about that too. So Jin's been my pet deck for a while. I decided it was one of the decks that I wanted to max rarity out. A lot of Jin stuff was cheap. I think it's getting more expensive now. Yep. But you know, a lot of the stuff was pretty cheap, and I really liked how a lot of the CSRs looked and stuff. And Rage invite card looks amazing. And so yeah, it was the deck that I would bring to locals every once in a while, and like to max rarity out and stuff. But Jin's never been really well positioned into a meta. The concept of Jin as an archetype is very tech dependent. If your opponents have specific answers to your strategy, it is really hard to stop that. And you can do things like run in cap and regals and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, like, there are just I found myself in many game situations where I like, especially in day 2 when I knew their deck list and stuff, like I would have to just be like, if they have this card, I do this and I win. If they have this card, I do this and I win, but vice versa and I lose. And I'm just like, I have to pick one line and I pick it. And you know, like, and so like it has some strengths and weaknesses. It's just not, I didn't know until bringing it to an Ascent. That's not necessarily my play style for a big event.
Sure.
I like to try to have the most 50-50 matchups across the board and stuff. And it felt like Jin was closer in this meta than it has ever been. Because Jin historically has been a bring Jin
Instant
and
win.
There's going to be 3 decks in the meta that you win against and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
And there's going to be 5 decks in the meta that you lose and there's nothing you can do about it. And for this meta, it was different. It definitely felt like against most decks you had a fighting shot. I have very funny stories to tell about matchups as I get through my rounds. So pet deck, max rarity, you know, just have wanted it. I think we mentioned it on content before. We almost brought it to CNATs and switched off at last minute when we realized that the fractal matchup was worse than we had originally tested. Now that everyone had been putting Gildas and stuff in the list, and so
it already had a bad Luxem matchup. A couple other things. So
it was already shaky. Yeah, it was already like we kind of wanted to bring it because like, well, and another thing was I recognized that Jin was more well-positioned in this event than ever before. And I had a very strong feeling that there were going to be people that brought Jin because of that. And so Jin excels in not... Like, one of Jin's biggest strengths is that up until Ascent Boston, it was a very rogue deck. It had never gotten really great placements. There were some top 16s and regionals and stuff. Most of them from this season, actually. But, like, in CNAT season, I think there was, like, 1 or 2... like wind Jins that had done well and stuff like that. You know, like very, very, very under the radar deck. And if you don't understand what Jin's doing, you do lose. And so that was another kind of reason I was like, this just felt like the one time I could play Jin at a big event. And actually have some success with it. And my goal going into this event was just wanting to make day 2. I knew that with the amount of practice that I had, I would not be able to make top 8. I felt like it was literally like a 2% chance for me to top 8 this event. And like, frankly, without sounding too like, you know, cocky, I have had other events where I'm like, I feel like there's a 30% chance I get first place in this event. And then I would, you know, that's how I felt with Seattle. That's how I felt with Oceanats. And then I won those events, you know? So it's like, I was more realistic about how this event would go and stuff. So I was like, I'm going to bring Jin. It's going to be fun. It's going to be the only time I get to do it. And I do genuinely think that Jin can get me to a day 2 better than most decks could. It's very funny because if I was going to pick another deck, I think it would have been Onsol if because that's what me and you were testing a lot more. We really liked our Onsol list. I still really like our Onsol list.
I think it's so good.
I'll be frank, I haven't even had the time to look card for card what the winning Onsol list was, but I'm assuming it was on Force Fluffy 2 Rending.
Pretty close,
Was it? Okay, maybe 3 Fluffy 2 Rending or something.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 4 Fluffy.
4 Fluffy 2 Rending.
One of the only differences was he played 4 reduce in the main.
Okay.
Whereas we played 3 in the main and then 1 extra hate card in the side. But that was his big thing. And then they played, I want to say Clarent Reimagined in the main.
They did.
Instead of Prismatic.
Yeah, right.
They didn't play the Prismatic.
Which we settled on the side. Because I had helped Zach, Crothis, Sylvie.gg. I had helped him build, well, and you helped him more, build the Ansel list that we were going to bring.
But that is the give and take is you either play the prismatic package or you play like an extra reduced to ash. He played Resolutes in the main, I want to say, which is what you add if you get rid of that, because you have to have a way to fight aggro, and our way was Ascensions, because you just burn their stuff, right?
But so that was the list that I was going to play if I had more time to practice, if I was taking the event a little bit more seriously, if I was shooting more for a top 8. And like that's something that like I touch on in coaching a lot, is like, what is your goal for an event? Because if you're trying to make day 2 or if you're trying to make top 8, there are major differences in what deck you bring overall and how you build that deck, and very importantly how you build that sideboard. Which that's a whole topic that maybe we can focus on in another podcast, but
also how you play the event too, like IDs.
Exactly, 100%. Yep. But so it's just kind of funny that Ansel was like the other deck that I was like, if I wanted to top 8 this event, I would bring, and it ended up winning the event.
Which is super cool. Shout out to Bobby Tortilla,
dude, because the fluffy
played so well.
Fluffy rending in Ansel is just such an insane combo. Like it just Anyways,
love it.
So round 1. Round 1, so I'm playing Fluffy Shopkeep in my Jhin list, which I believe I was probably the only Jhin player doing that. Absolutely love Fluffy. I can't get enough of Fluffy. I put it in Tristan. I put it in every deck. It's so good.
You're also the only Jhin running dual spirits.
Yep. And so that was one of the reasons that those went hand in hand. So I was running 2 Fluffy, and I was running Serene and draw, and I was running Serene Spirit and normal Spirit of Fire to either draw 7 and have higher influence, or Glimpse, have lower influence but have a heal. Which in Jhin is obviously very strong. It's very classic for Jhin to play a Serene Spirit.
All the other Jhins at the event were also on Serene Spirit.
But the reason that I did the dual spirits was because I found doing the Serene Spirit as Jhin, sometimes you'd play against a Ryle deck that is on a draw 7 spirit like Ansel, which is supposed to be a favorable matchup. And if they just had more raw influence and were going Ryle, bring back Liminal, Cremate, Hasty, blah, blah, you just like non-stop value engineering, they would get to a point where they're like, DG to 3, Ansel, hit you up to 50, which is a very scary thing to do against Jhin. But I'm sitting over here on 4 influence level 3, and I'm like, rending for 20, you know, like it's just not enough. Even though, you know, so I went the draw 7 spirit because in testing, I just recognized that I just needed raw influence to keep up with other Ryle decks. The Serene Spirit was mainly in there for, honestly, the number one reason was boots. Wind boots, which we did a profile on our channel. You can go watch that deck profile that Terry did. That deck is terrifying. Oh my gosh. And I could not beat it in testing on my draw 7 spirit. Even if I drew like the craziest opening hands ever, I was just dead.
It's so fast,
and I could have ran, you know, Resolutes, or like I could have adapted the deck list, like the main deck, to beat that. But my main deck felt so incredibly tight, and my mat deck felt like there was a lot of space. So I built my mat deck with sideboard in mind already, basically. And the reason I could do that was Fluffy Shopkeep. Because I had Spellword Scepter in the main of my mat deck. Even though I only really wanted it for like Fire Luxem, honestly. And then I also had that dual spirits, which obviously I can only go 1 spirit per game. So I essentially, in most matchups, had 2 dead cards in my material deck at every time. But I was okay with that because I could just get rid of them with Fluffy and draw a card and stuff. So instead of taking up valuable sideboard spots, because Regalia or Champions take 3 sideboard spots, I was able to have a 15 card main deck sideboard deck, however you want to say that. And then I had my 12 card mat deck that was really a 10 card mat deck with some post side options. But yeah, Fluffy was literally amazing. I cannot get over how good that card was.
So good.
Being able to go Fluffy turn 1 and have more lines for Cremate +1, all that kind of stuff. Being able to play it against aggro, it just instantly saves you the day. Like playing Fluffy in Jhin against an aggro deck and just going, I am even on cards. If you go Censor, I'm just going to Cremate it if you don't kill it, and go up cards, and you wasted your materialization. If you don't go Censor, maybe I'll just Creative Shock in your end step or something like that, blind and discard it floating, whatever. Like, it just slows them down so much. It enables you to fight board a little bit, because I would use like Fluffy plus Liminal to like kill Hasties, because Jhin has a really hard time dealing with Hasties. And so having another 1 attack card in the deck was really nice. I had cut my Hasties because I felt like the Cremate option was better for me. So yeah, there's just so much that Fluffy did. Anyways, literally started talking about all that because round 1, I sit down, I win the dice roll. Very nice in this format. First format that we've had in GA that dice rolls actually matter.
Yeah.
Hopefully that changes. I don't like that. Anyways, I win the dice roll. I look at my opening hand. It's something like a little awkward. I have some value pieces in here, but like I just remember it being a semi-awkward hand. And I think it was like I had Fluffy and Library Witch or something. And I was draw 7 Spirit. And so I was like, okay, this is like the best turn to play these 2 cards, even though I had like, I think I might have had like Cremate Float in my hand or something like that. Yeah. Not Cremate Float. Creative Float.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's really the best time to play these 2 cards though. Like I'm not going to get another shot at it. Or maybe I didn't have the float. I don't know. Anyway, so I play Fluffy and I get rid of the Serene Spirit because I can't use that spirit. And I get rid of the Scepter because I'm like, there's one matchup that matters for, right? Like it can come up in other matchups, but it's mainly against Fire Luxem. So I was like, okay, get rid of those, whatever. Draw, play my Library Witch, pass. My opponent goes, okay, Serene Spirit of Fire. I'm like, no shot, this just happened. And then he is on Luxem, Fire Luxem. No. So I was just like, dude, that sucks because I only have 1 Regal in my main.
Yeah.
And that's why that Scepter is so important because against Luxem, I can bring out Scepter, pop it, use Regal, and they can't incap it. So I get to have 1 Regal resolve against them unless they reduce the Scepter or whatever. Yeah. But and then that's like just really important against Luxem because being able to Regal once against Luxem matters so much. It slows them down in incredible amounts. So I was pretty bummed about that. Fortunately, he was a very strong player. I think he seemed like a good Luxem player. He did not know how to play against Jin whatsoever. And this was, again, what I was saying earlier, one of those strengths about bringing Jin to this event because I think Jin nowadays, I mean, like our video that we did on our deck profile that we did on YouTube a few days ago, what was that? An hour and a half, an hour or something like that? An hour long video. It was an hour and a half when recording, I think. You edited it down, but an hour long deck profile. That barely ever happens. Like deck profiles don't go that long, but it's because Jin is so unknown that I wanted to really explain a lot of things with it and stuff. So, that was one of the reasons that I brought Jin was because I knew people wouldn't play against it correctly. And the round 1, that's exactly what happened. He was definitely a good player. He's playing a good deck, good matchup for him. Jin is not that great into Luxem, but he just didn't know how to play against it. He didn't know what was coming. So like I had like I think in game 1 we had this really weird thing where I had a liminal guide that was ephemeral on board, and I had Undying Dreams it twice because I just like wasn't getting the riles and stuff like that. So I was just having to like play those hard and like level up and stuff. But that's so my liminal
guide.
My liminal was a 3/5.
Yeah.
And so I did like Undying Dreams or something like that. I made it a 3/5 and leveled up into level 2. And he picked up Jin 2, read it, saw that Jin 2's ability is +1 attack and restand, and went Resolute.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that instantly signified to me that he literally does not know what my deck does whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because it is not a threat. Like my Jin 1 and Jin 2 in my mind have no effects. Yeah. I'll be frank, I probably missed like the +1 on a human trigger attack or something like that many times throughout the event. They basically are vanilla to me. But if you don't know what Jin does, seeing a 3/5 ally on board, I think I still had my Fluffy as well. So like I had already poked him a little bit. I had big allies on board. He read my champion. It said, do a lot of damage. Like if you don't know what's coming, I get it. I'm not like flaming him for playing that Resolute, but he just didn't know the matchup.
Yeah.
And so he was basically just minusing cards because my turn, whether or not he Resoluted, was DG pass.
Yeah.
Like sure, swing with liminals, but like he has Serene Spirit. It's not gonna matter that much anyways. So he just lost influence on me, and I was able to take that game because I was just up on influence and stuff. And then games 2 and 3. Come into 3 Regals. I have 4 Regals and a Spell Receptor.
Yeah, figure it out.
It becomes a lot more favorable for me. Out of one of those 2 games, I should be able to just kind of lock him out of the game. And that's exactly what happened. So unfavorable matchup, but I took it there just by winning the dice roll and him not knowing how to play against it. But again, strong player. Shout out. Round 2, I play against a Jin mirror match. A little earlier than I was expecting. Yeah. And I was definitely scared because he told me this afterwards. He had been playing Jin since AMB.
Yeah.
But I could pick up like during the game. I was like, okay, he's very comfortable with Jin. But I don't think he thought that there was going to be as many Jins in the room as there were. Jin was surprisingly represented.
Yeah.
There was more than I thought.
Yeah.
I think I expected more than him, but he just wasn't tech for it.
Yeah.
I don't think he was on 4 Regal. I had a spurn in the side because spurning your opponent's breastplate in Jin is
very
huge.
Yeah.
Because now you're saying, okay, I can control the damage output of this game now.
Yeah.
I can choose not to attack you, and you're not drawing a card every turn. Because if I spurn your breastplate and you can't end cap it or whatever, like I'm just gonna outvalue you.
Yeah.
And so yeah, game 1 I think I won, and then game 2 or game 3 I spurned it and just dragged it out and took it down as well. But yeah, so again, great player, just didn't know the meta. Didn't have the right meta call for the mirror match basically. And I was very ready for the mirror even before I had talked to some of the other players there and realized that other people were on Jin. I did not make any changes after finding out that there were more people on Jin for the mirror. I was already prepped for it. Then round 3 I played against, was that Burner?
Don't look at me.
No, round 3 was Steve from Lineage Break.
And
on Seal on the Advent Seal, and he very clearly knew how to play his deck pretty well.
He's a Seal stan. He loves Seal.
Yeah, and so am I. And a great match, by the way. Super fun match. It was just really cool because we were both clearly like trying very hard and like being very competitive. But like we're able to still have some like good interactions and like great post game discussion with each other and stuff. I'm always excited by how often that happens in GA. Like it's really nice how great the community is, especially because like personally I'm like pretty intense when I play because I'm like really focused. I have to focus and be intense or else I'll play really bad. So like sorry, but
oh no, people should be used to that by now. You and I have played so many times and they are like super focused games. And we play together all the time.
But it's nice how like I'll play against someone for the first or maybe second time and like we still have like a good like post game interaction and stuff like that.
Before you move on, if you are, I just wanted to give a shout out to Lineage Break. Because they have really upped their game and been doing they've been doing a podcast for like 2 years now. But they are really up in their game. So if you haven't checked, if you guys like our podcast and you just want more, every single Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time, they do a podcast and you should check it out. They do it live every week. So
also
big shout out to them.
Shout out to Lineage Break, Sean, for the TVs at Ascent Boston.
Was that from him? Huge shout out.
Last moment, he was the one that helped them out in a pinch there. So
Lineage Break rocks.
Little lore. Isaac and I were actually going to go be part of the podcast. We were going to.
Gosh, you guys didn't?
We were gonna.
That came up.
So we were gonna collab with them and all that stuff, and I get a message from Sean, and he's like, "Yo, I gotta go help them." So it was fine. I needed more games anyways, so it all worked out.
I need
soon, maybe
more time to rest. Just chill.
Also,
all the anxiety was getting too intense.
Shout out to Cam for stopping Shinja from having a heart attack. Hopefully, because that's public news now. That
he was back there and everyone saw him helping out. So
So Cam now,
he announced it on their podcast.
Cool.
So we're good there. Cam, they know, everybody that hangs out in that community knows I am a regular on their podcast. Because I typically am driving for work during their podcast, and so I'm always just listening in there. And then when I stop in traffic or I'm stuck on a train, I like message in there or whatever. Which do not text and drive. It's bad for you.
It's bad for your health.
It's bad for your health and the health of people around you.
So round 4.
Seal. So like I said, we were both pretty intense, pretty focused, still having a good time. He clearly knew how to play his deck really well, but it was a little bit of a match 1 scenario where he didn't quite understand the Jin matchup, I don't think, with his deck, which is fair. Like I didn't expect many people to practice their deck against Jin. That's one of the reasons I brought it.
That deck definitely can beat you with the Advent and
I lost to that deck in day 2 when I'm assuming that player had played against Jins throughout that event, because there were a lot of Jins in day 2 and stuff. However, I think it might have been literally Steve's first time playing against Jin, and so he was like making omens and bringing out like Orb of Sealing and stuff and like doing all, because I think if like they get their Orb of Sealing reduced against most decks, they can just be like, okay, cool, Extorting Blackjack, kill you.
Yeah.
They can't do that against Jin. So the day 2 player that I played against did not make any omens outside of Advent, did not bring out Orb Ceiling, didn't do any of that
because it doesn't
stuff.
matter. Yeah.
But Steve did because he just didn't know the matchup enough. Yeah. So because like I said, it is a he was playing his deck correctly.
Yeah.
He just wasn't playing his deck correctly for that matchup.
Yeah.
So but he played extraordinarily well. It was really great Seal gameplay. It was a very enjoyable match for me because I wanted to bring Seal.
Yeah.
But again, I just didn't have enough time to test it and all that kind of stuff. So round 4, I'm 3-0, feeling on top of the world because I came into this event hoping to day 2, not expecting to day 2, hoping to day 2.
You're in a good
which
spot.
was a 6-3 requirement at this event to make day 2, guaranteed. So I was like, I'm 3-0. This is unreal. Like, this is amazing. I'm super excited. I get put up on stream next. It is against Burner.
Yeah.
The reason that they put us on stream is because me and Burner long time ago had a little bit of a rivalry. We would always play during like top 8 matches, round 1, and like it just play in these like really intense matches. I think we have had a fairly even record. I'm not really sure.
Don't know.
But yeah, so it's just been like an OG rivalry, friendly rivalry from back in the day. And we were both 3-0 in the event, got paired up because we never get paired up early into a tournament. It's always, like I said, these like high stakes like matches. And so we get paired up against each other, and I'm playing against their Vanitas deck, which we'll touch later.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what the deck was. Garuthos had just played Burner the previous round.
Yeah.
So I went up to him. You know, he's a teammate. I'm asking him what is this deck? You know, how do I beat it and stuff? Me and Garuthos are on different decks, so I'm not going to get too helpful of tips. He told me that they're not on censor. They were on censor, so Garuthos, you let me down. No, all jokes.
You just never brought it out against.
Yeah, it wasn't as wasn't as good against Garuthos. Like I said, he didn't have like great tips for me because it was early on in the tournament. We're playing different decks, so it's a different play style and stuff. Anyways, thank you, Guru, for help. He did give me some good tips.
Yeah.
It was better than going into it blind. I'm going into blind, kind of understanding what their deck does a little bit, but not really knowing how the matchup is or anything. We dice roll. I think I go first, which is a good position for me. And you can watch the stream games. You can hear the commentary from Dan and you.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, Dan and you. I drew okay.
Yeah.
I didn't draw terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't draw great.
Yeah.
I drew okay. And their deck was if your opponent stumbles, they stumble hard.
Yeah.
That is what their deck was designed to do. So it was like it was funny because like post match, I'm talking to Burner a little bit. I was like, yeah, I didn't draw that well. So like, blah blah blah. But I was like, but that's how you won. I try to not to like. Some people will complain like, yeah, I just didn't draw well. But when they're playing against a deck that capitalizes on it, like, that's, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I don't know how to explain that well, but like, I said that to him. And I was like, I'm not taking away anything from your win though. You still played well. Like your deck did what it was supposed to do and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, he kicked my teeth in on stream. I got 2-0'd by him. Next pairing, I get matched up with someone with like a 15,000 Omni number. So I'm like, okay, like a little bit of a newer player and stuff. Yeah. It'd be nice to have a real game after this Vanitas matchup. I sit down. He's on Vanitas. Yeah. He's a Chess Club member. Both him and Burner made 0. Yeah. Both of them made top 8 in the event. Yeah. So I get the double punch from Vanny. Back to back in rounds after going 3-0. So I'm 3-2. Pretty bummed because
hold up. He has at this point he has his hood up and headphones on.
He's Darth Caban.
Yeah. He goes focus mode.
Yeah. Don't mess with Darth Caban.
Yeah. But and I'm not gonna lie, the tilt was there. Mm-hmm. I've tilted before at events. It's something I need to work on. Mm-hmm. I went 2-0 at Seattle. Went 2 losses after that, and literally like the only reason I won that event I think is because of how nice the community was, and like there was like literally like other teams like giving me like moral support and stuff and like pep talks and everything. Amazing. And that really turned it around for me. And again, people like were just super nice. Like even Rex. So Rex from Chess Club gave me a huge pep talk at Seattle and like really actually did help my tilt. Yeah. He was like messaging me on Discord and stuff. Like I literally just like lost to his team members, and instead of like like I don't know, like celebrating that or something, he was like messaging me, telling me like get back in it, you got this, easy, right? And so that was just like really cool. It definitely helps with the tilt. So I appreciate everyone that's just so kind. Okay. But I was tilted. Yeah. Vanitas as a Jin player is not a fun matchup to play. I don't have that much experience in that matchup, but to me, it feels like I have to win the dice roll and I have to draw extraordinarily well. And if I do that, they can't win.
Yeah.
And if I don't, I can't win.
Sure.
So that's how it feels to me. I could be wrong about that matchup.
No,
but
throughout the day, we noticed that dice roll matters for Vanitas a lot, and them either finding a dungeon guide or beseech, or you, the opponent, finding a dungeon guide. That way they can get out of being taxed from their level 4 specifically is really important.
Yeah, and I think they built their list to be very consistent to find that DG-esque effect. So I'm not counting on them to brick, but like for example, against Burner, I did draw fairly well in game 1. I drew a decent value engine, but I didn't get a dungeon guide, and that just set me back way too much. And then in game 2, I drew like creative stalwart discard and then followed up with another creative stalwart discard. I was like, okay, this is the game. I found a dungeon guide and everything. But then the rest of my hand was like enrage, rile, no specters, like just nothing, you know? So it's just like, I just wasn't able to close it out there either. But yeah, so pretty anti-fun decks to play against as a Jin player. Your materializations matter a lot. And it wasn't the game that I wanted to play. And starting off 3-0 way better than I expected, kind of feeling on top of the world and getting my butt beat in a very unfun way 2 rounds in a row tilted me. You know, and so I went into my round 6 pretty tilted. I sit down. It's against one of the Ohio players. You know, a history with them. Very, very nice dude, Tan Man.
Yep.
And he has a fractal polar depths mat. And I'm like, okay, you know, maybe he likes it. I don't read into that kind of stuff too much because, you know, like sometimes people just like the design of something. Yeah. Sometimes people are trying to trick you. Yeah. Whatever. Sometimes people are rocking.
He was on Allen, wasn't he?
No. So I'm just saying whatever. You know, I win the dice roll, draw 7 spirit, you know, whatever. He goes spirit water, draw 8. I'm like, okay, that's
scary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Puts 3 down. Fractal polar depths. I just die inside like immediately. I am just like
Genbu is a bad matchup for Jin.
And if you guys don't know, I play a lot of Genbu. So he's played into it a lot.
Genbu is Jin's worst matchup historically. It is why we saw like Jin got brought to the gauntlet at Worlds and it didn't get a single win outside of a bye because Genbu was rolling through the gauntlet. And so there's your stat right there. You know, like Genbu's Jin's worst matchup. So I was like, this is just literally insane. Like my bracket at that point was feeling just so cursed because I started off against Luxem, which is an unfavorable matchup, but I won because they didn't know the Jin matchup. Yeah. I then played a mirror, which no matter what deck you're playing, a mirror is never a good thing to pair into in the bracket. Then I played a seal, which I do think might be unfavorable. It's probably 50-50 at best, but again, they don't know the matchup.
If they play it really well on the Advent, I think they can definitely beat you.
I think it's favored for them.
They just set up a double one of those and hit you for 30 in your end step.
Yeah. So literally, I'm sitting here in round 6 thinking I played against an unfavorable matchup, a mirror match, an unfavorable matchup, 2 very unfavorable matchups, and now I'm sitting here against my actual worst matchup. I'm like, this is unreal. This is so incredibly unlucky.
Swiss lottery hit.
Yeah, like I'm just like so defeated, and they're starting off with double fractal polar depths. Crazy.
Yeah.
I end up winning game 1, even though he started double fractal polar depths because frankly, he drew bad.
Yeah.
He got the double fractal polar depths, had the mill online. I'm not on nullifying lantern. There's no chance for me to try to stop this mill. He just didn't draw any like water filter, no Tidestone Movines, no like he maybe played like 1 Cerulean Decree to like get a card in memory and like keep drawing and influence and stuff. He just didn't really draw anything. And so
it's just one of those games.
Yeah, I was able to just go like I had to. He drew poorly, but I still won this out of skill because I recognized this mill is happening eventually.
I need to end the game.
Huh?
I need to end the game.
I cannot sit here and try to like go for a guaranteed win.
Yeah.
I recognized at one point I was like, I can kill him here if he does not have Song of Frost.
Yeah.
He had like 7 cards in hand. I was like, I have no option. This is my only chance of winning the game. So I went for it. He didn't have Song of Frost.
Got it.
Won game 1. Game 2, he goes first. Opens up like a Fractal Rain, I think. So like better start already. Because he doesn't have the polar depths yet, but he's like starting his value engine and like his mill engine and stuff. I go to my turn, draw whatever, do something. He goes, doesn't really do anything. We just kind of back and forth a little bit. Nothing's really happening. We're kind of just draw passing each other, which like isn't great for me, but it's not bad for me either. It could be worse. Eventually, a couple turns pass, he has milled 2 Polar Depths early on. Like there's like 8 cards in his graveyard or something, and 2 of them are Fractal Polar Depths. So I see that, I recognize, okay, this might be changing how the game's working. So I am no longer only thinking I have to win this game as fast as possible. I am now shifting my strategy because this is post side. So now I have my 4 Regal Regal Inquisition.
Yeah.
In game 1, I only have 1. So I now have 4 Regal Inquisition. I'm not gonna lie, I messed up. I literally noticed that and had like Enrages and Regal in hand, and I needed to Dungeon Guide.
Yeah.
And so I put Regals down instead of Enrages and banished 2. I put 2 of the 3 cards in the memory were Regals. I was like, okay, I'll probably hit 1. You know, like it's okay. Banished 2 Regals and leveled up. I was like, man, that sucks. And literally the next turn realized I cannot kill him with a swing. Like he got his Genbu out because he had a rain. I should have recognized that. I misplayed. He got his Genbu counters up very fast, and just like with how all the interaction that they have in that deck, like I was not winning by damaging him. So I have to switch to, okay, I have 1 Regal in hand still. I have 1 more in the deck. I banished 2. There is a chance that I can mill him out before he mills me out, which was a wild thought to have as a Jin player.
Yeah.
Fast forward, the game ends with me regaling him while he has 1 card in hand. But he had like Paladin Genbu out or something like that. Like something where I was like, okay, I still can't like get him. So I regal him because he only has 1 in hand. So I dump everything.
Yep.
He draws a fresh hand. We're talking like 9-10 cards or something like that. He draws a fresh hand, and I do find the second regal and I play it. Now he can play cards out of his hand though to get out of it and try to draw less cards. And I play this second regal, and he like started to kind of pick up his cards. Yeah. Like he was like, yeah, I can't do anything. I think you have this. He like sits there and like really tries to think about it, and then he like realizes like, oh, like I can dump my hand and try to. So he's deck counting. Like we're both kind of sitting there trying to figure out if I win or not. Eventually, he does like play everything that he can from his hand at that point, and it is an exact deck count.
Yeah.
If he had realized playing some cards earlier previously and trying to thin out his hand so I can't mill him out, I think he would have got the game there.
Sure.
But I misplayed earlier. I could have decked him out very easily. He ended up misplaying. I got the win.
So no tabula, huh?
So that's why I went for the regal, because and that was also another reason that I put the regals down when I DG'd, because I was like, oh, I can't regal him. He's got tabula.
Yeah.
Put the DGs down, or put the regals down, DG'd, banished the DGs. He's playing his turn. I'm sitting there going, I'm a dummy. He showed me his mat
He doesn't
deck.
have it.
He's goaching. He has to show me his mat deck.
Yeah.
He doesn't have tabula.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, man.
Ganbus 100% should be playing tabula
so
going forward. With Regal Inquisition being played by so many decks in the format, if you have a slow game and you start getting Regal decked out, you just go, cool.
Yeah. Mill
tabula,
myself. Yeah.
put 4 Polar Depths back into my thing.
Mill you out.
Draw. Mill. Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, I think he still overall played well.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of misplays, but it was due to such a weird game state that neither one of us really picked up on at first, and so we both misplayed on it, and he just frankly did just draw really bad.
Yeah.
And so again, it was probably
any deck can lose.
Yeah.
Even their best matchups.
Right.
Yeah,
like we say Gamble's an auto loss for Jin. Yeah. It's still probably a 10 to 20% or something. Yeah. If they're not on Tabula and you're on 4 Regal, probably gets bumped up to 30 or something like that. And so I just had that 10, 20, 30% chance happen to me. And so definitely helped my tilt. I was still tilted.
Yeah.
Again, I need to work on that. Go watch Perfy's content. He talks about things like that, tournament tilts and stuff. I need to listen to him. But I was still tilted because like I've literally had 6 bad matchups in a row, which is just like such a frustrating thing. It's just a frustrating experience to go through. But it shouldn't have put me in that bad mindset. I should have. Part of being a good player is getting out of that. Yeah, literally something I coach people on. So like I need to take my own advice. Anyway, so that happens.
You're 4-2 now.
I'm 4-2 now.
Yeah. So you need 2 wins.
I need 2 wins to make day 2.
3 rounds.
In 3 rounds, yes.
Yeah.
I play my next matchup. I need to look at my notes. We might have to cut this.
No, it's okay. Because I think while you pull that up, I can just say a couple things. We'll probably, once we finish up with your day 1, we don't really need to talk about your day 2 all that much.
No.
So we'll finish that, and then we'll talk about
Ponya.
Yeah, we'll talk about some fun stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't remember what's my round 7. It's a minute-long voice memo that I sent to you guys. I'm not going to listen to that right now.
Yeah.
So round 7 happened. I won.
Yep.
I can't remember what it was against. So I am one more win out of the next 2 rounds gets me into day 2. So I'm feeling pretty great. I then played against Merlin. I threw super hard day in game 1. Oh my gosh. This was the biggest throw ever. I am sitting on a triple liminal guide hand, no discard outlets. Only time it happened to me in the entire event.
Yeah.
Usually I had discard outlets with nothing to discard, which is why I had cut Hasty. It was because I felt like I didn't have enough use out of it.
Sure.
Would have been nice that game, but obviously glad I cut Hasty overall. Anyways, I'm sitting there with triple liminal guide in hand, and I played something. I can't remember what it was. But instead of putting 3 liminal guide down, and because I had like creative stalwart in hand, instead of putting 3 liminal guide down and being like, if they get rid of the floating, now I'll just banish one of the 3 liminal guide that I don't need. I put down like liminal DG and something else. I don't know why I did that. Sure enough, they get rid of my floating. I'm sitting there being like, well, I got to level up. It was like to level 1 too.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, 1 in 3 odds. Let's see how it goes. Roll, get rid of the DG. And I'm just sitting there, dude, it is like, that's such an important, DG is so important in the Merlin matchup.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I had literally no reason to risk that. Like, it was just a hard throw. And I'm pretty sure I lost that game. Game 2, just a good game. I won. Nothing like super out of the norm. And then in our game 3, I was in a game state where I was like, I have to draw Enrage Rending or Enrage and Rage. I have my sword out. They have no interaction on the board. Literally nothing they can do. And so, but I had neither one of those in my hand.
Yeah.
But I was able to maximize my efficiency, and between his end step and my turn, I drew a total of 8 cards out of like the 30-ish cards that I had left in the deck. And I think I had like 3 Enrage, 2 Rending left. So 8 cards to find 2 of those 5 in a 30-ish card deck. Pretty good odds, So I did find both of them. It like felt lucky because I was like, I need these exact cards, and I drew into those exact cards. But eight cards was a lot to draw. So ended up getting the game there and locked my day 2. Very, 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 very happy at that point. And then I got my last round. I'm already locked for day 2. My opponent's already locked for day 2. No point in IDing. We're both there to try to play and get a better day 2 bracket.
And this is main deck Corbin, isn't it?
This is main deck Corbin on another Merlin list. So back-to-back Merlin list. It was funny because during the round, they felt like very close, like good games. But then after the match ended, I realized that he mentioned this in game 3, so he was aware of it too. He said like, man, this is like the only match all day that I've been like double discarding off Ryle every game and stuff. And I was just like, oh yeah, you were doing that. I wasn't like even recognizing it while it was happening, because I think in one of the games I was also doing it, so it was like fair,
Sometimes you're just used to it though. Like, you see Ryle do that.
Dude, it's the last round. I'm tired. I've been playing against Ryle decks pretty much all day. But he's like, I think he did high roll me a little bit.
Sure.
Corbin's a fantastic player. He played exceptional. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I misplayed at some point to him. Definitely not taking away his win at all, but he did high roll me a bit. In game 3, he is on Fragmented Merlin, so he's glimpsing and drawing 6. In game 3, he glimpses 6, tanks for a minute, and says, okay, play this. I'm like, oh no!
It never feels good when the spirit keeps.
He was like, keep 6, play Ryle, discard 2 liminal or something. I'm like,
it's a different feeling too when you know this person's a good player.
Oh,
it's like they're not just unsure. They're like, okay, is this actually a full-on keep hand? They're just thinking like making sure, do I just get rid of 1?
Corbin knows what he's doing. He knows it's a good keep 6. He's not greed keeping or something like that. And like,
but he was confirming. That's why I took him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like,
he wanted to make sure he wasn't missing something. And he was trying to think like, can I interrupt him at all? Am I gonna like in-cap him and like turn him down to like a bad? He knows I don't have that because he's going first. So he just did it. And he's a good player, so he's not going to make mistakes for me to capitalize on as often. So he just riled immediately, got rid of 2 liminal guys. He's like, you're not on Raccoon or something. You're not on DG up to Merlin or whatever, right? Like, so I just have no interaction. So he just blew me out game 3. It was just a gross start.
Sure.
But yeah, so good play. I wasn't even salty about that one though. Like it was just a good player, like a good match still. And yeah, so I unfortunately going to day 2 X3. pretty tilting day one, but I'm glad I locked it.
Also, real quick, congrats to Corbin for his first day 2 Ascent.
Yeah,
even though he
won the gauntlet.
Yeah, he won gauntlet and was a world's competitor, and got day 2 at nationals, I believe, and that together, and got his gauntlet there. But yeah, he actually
he had never made a day 2 at Ascent.
Definitely a wildly underrated player in GA.
He is my absolute kryptonite.
Yeah,
I've never taken a game off of Corbin.
It was my first time playing him. I don't think he's played Isaac either. Yeah.
I've never taken a game off of him.
Neither have I.
I'd rather play against,
I've taken a game, but
I'd rather play against anybody in the world than Corbin because I know Corbin will beat me.
Yeah.
I can't beat him.
He was a sleeper pick for like Gauntlet and like the world's pick'em or whatever that Zach had made. He was like wildly underpicked in that, but like all of us had like picked him up really high because we knew he'd do really well, and he did.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that was my day one, and day two I'll just be very brief. My goal was day 2. That's where I was hoping to get.
Yeah.
And I made it, so I was happy. I played against Heinke round 1. It was my first aggro matchup. So like the other day I was like where are all my Tristans, where are all these aggro decks, like suited, like all these decks that like I know I at least have a 50-50 against. Like, why am I getting all my bad matchups? And I get to play against Heinke round 1 on Guoja, a deck that we have tested quite often.
Yeah.
So I was comfortable in the matchup. I studied the lists very, very intensively. I knew exactly what he was on, what his outs were. And basically this match results in game 3, he has 2 Underfire, 2 Crystallized Destiny, and 2 Shatter the Brittle. Yeah. So Underfire and Crystallized Destiny in the game set that we were in basically did the same thing, won him game if I just swung. Or if he had Shatter, I could do something. Sorry. If I had a Regal Inquisition hand, and I had to play it and hopefully get rid of Crystallized, and then pop that. Even if he plays it in response to my Regal, I pop it with my DG that's on board. Or I had to hope that he had Shatter, and because he didn't Shatter on my Enrage, so I had priority. I could have just swung.
Yeah,
and if he shattered the sword, I still had enough damage with my Rage to still kill him.
Yeah.
So it was a weird game state. I basically just had to pick between him having different cards and which one would win me the game. And I picked wrong.
Yeah.
So I played the Regal. The reason I played the Regal was because I Umbra-sighted.
Yeah.
Drew the Regal.
Umbra-sighted.
Exia-sighted.
Sorry. Yeah.
I love Umbra-sight.
Yeah.
I love Exia-sight. I Exia-sighted. I drew the Regal with it. And I was like, all right, well, now I got to play it, right? Because like if I didn't draw that Regal, I had no option. I had to just swing.
Yeah.
And I would have won the game. He didn't know Jin math very well. Yeah. And so he wasn't realizing that he needed to shatter on the Shuang.
Yeah.
When I did the Enrage. He didn't realize that it was still lethal. And so I played the Regal because I drew it off the Exia site, and also because I know Heinke's a good player.
Yeah.
I expected him to know that matchup, or at least know Jin.
Yeah.
And so I figured it was more likely that he had Crystallized Destiny. Turns out he just didn't know it, and I made the wrong decision, but it was basically just a coin flip at that point. So my top 8 dreams died there.
Yeah.
And then the rest of day 2 gets very short because I still played because I honestly had nothing else to do, and I was hoping to get like top 16 or something, get a little bit of cash. But frankly, like top 8 dreams were dead. I did kind of mentally check out a little bit.
Yeah.
I was going into the next 3 rounds. It's open deck list. Normally in day 2, you guys know, and most people know, like I am like the deck list is memorized. Like I know exactly what they're siding out probably, and definitely what they're siding in, all this kind of stuff. Like I play a very clean day 2. I would show up literally in round 2. I showed up. 3 minutes had already gone by on the clock. You have 5 minutes before you get a game loss.
Yeah.
And I sit down. And I'm like, hey, what are you on? Like, so I don't have to look at the deck. They're like, I'm on this deck. I'm like, okay, I'm not even gonna ask you any tech cards or whatever. Let's just play. So I was basically going into day 2 blind for the rest of the rounds while they knew my whole deck list and stuff. Played against good players. They played well. I got 2-0'd into pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I ended up second to last in day 2. Is what it is.
Yeah. You made day 2.
Yeah. I was happy with where I got, and I did just kind of check out a little bit and got outskilled as well in day 2. Also, my deck kind of just stopped working in day 2.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was, because like day 1, I was feeling like so good about the list, man. Like I felt like my Jin list was peak. Like I loved my Jin list. I was like freaking out that Friday night because I saw that other Jin list and it was very different. I was like, oh my gosh, like am I just like not seeing these things? Should I like be whatever changing it? Day 1 just to a T worked so well, and then day 2 it's just like I don't know, man. It just felt super awkward.
Sure.
I was probably just not playing well too.
That's probably once you check out and you're like making little micro decisions that are wrong.
Yeah,
the deck starts to just like fold. Most decks do that are like that, like a level 3 deck that doesn't just like I play my stuff and turn it and hope that kills you. So
it's also like I said way at the beginning, like Jin is a lose to tech deck. And so sitting down and not knowing what techs your opponent has. So I played against another Lineage Break member and they were unsuited. And so I think this was the member that I showed up late to and just asked what they were on and then didn't ask any of their tech cards. And then we finished game 1. He beats me. And I go, oh, I should have looked at your list for one card in particular if you're running. And he just laughed. He's like, I'm on that card. Like, I know what you're thinking of.
Trump set?
Trump set. Yeah. Neither one of us said the name, but we were like joking back and forth about it. And he's like, yeah, I'm on that card. To be fair, I was going to side and play like he was on that card. Because I think that's the right thing to do. And most suited players were on it. Yeah. There was one suited that like won a regionals or did really well at a regionals or something like that and didn't play it in the side. Yeah. And I told him that afterwards. And he was like that's in wild. Disbelief that I was like, yeah, dude, like they're not all on it. That's why I was like, maybe you're not on it. I should have looked, but I did play like he had it anyways, even though he told me that he had it. So yeah, he kicked me 2-0. Yeah, pretty fast. I think we ended in 20 minutes. Yeah. But yeah, so day 2 didn't end. I ended up with a negative record in day 2. Yeah. Let me tell you, that does not feel good. Going into day 2, 6-3, and then ending 6-7, I literally felt like I didn't belong in day 2. Like it was like such a did not like that. That was my first time in day 2 that I had done that because historically I missed day 2 Chicago. Yeah, so I didn't have a day 2 and didn't top 8. And then my other ones have been like 9th in Utrecht, which was like right up in intense games all the way up to I had like. I played Duck Hats in the last round of Utrecht, and like we were having this super intense match because we were thinking one of us might bubble in and stuff, and like literally came down to the wire in the match. Like adrenaline filled day 2 the whole day. Ended up 9th, you know, like but still like had a good day 2. Like it was intense. Like there was a reason to play all the day and stuff. And all my other day 2s I've made top 8, so it's like. Very different day 2 experience for me. Yeah. Obviously didn't like it.
No, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. But
it's a lot harder when you're not winning all the time.
But it was still good because I was like just going to the vendor booth. Core TCG was vending the event. It was a very last minute thing for them, so they had a pretty mediocre display. You know, Vegan wasn't happy with it. He was wishing that he could have done a better job. But frankly, like they still did a ton of business. A lot of people were happy to trade in cards. And buy, sell, trade, whatever at the booth. And it was a really great experience. It was a lot of fun helping out with that booth. And a lot of like good conversations with people.
Makes them miss vending events. So
it did. I did enjoy it a little bit.
Ascent, no,
no. Yo, is TCG back? I had so many people message me if we still
selling cards and stuff in single day. No. I am probably selling out of like the rest of my stuff. And
you're quitting GA?
Yeah, I'm quitting GA. Yeah.
Wow, I can't wait to buy all that stuff. Start my own business.
But so
I'll buy Supreme slabs.
A lot of my stock's probably going to Core. I want to. Well, part of our partnership with them was like I really desperately want a good vendor in this game. And so I kind of want to just like sell off all of my inventory to them, have them be able to vend. And Vegan was talking about that. Like he had an insane run like we were talking about earlier, but he was also like, I kind of wish I like had spent more time on the booth and stuff like that. So they're going to try to do a better vending experience for people because so many people were at that booth all weekend. And like it was a lot of people were just so happy to be there, like hanging out for a while after.
It was pretty cool to see like people hanging around there and just like hanging out.
It was a really nice experience for me too because like normally for Ascent I'm very busy. I'm either previously helping Quinn with silver or playing top 8, like no rest between any rounds. Like if I have some time off, I need to put my headphones on and recharge and get in the mental space for the next set. This is my first event that I was like, well, outside of Chicago, but Chicago.
You were vending Chicago.
Yeah, I was vending Chicago. Yeah. So when I scrubbed out, I just vended, right? But I was like solo vending basically. I had a friend helping me out, but I was like very busy. Like I had to focus on vending and not talking to people. You know, this is the first event that I actually got to engage so much more with the community at an Ascent and not just like hyper focus on being competitive. And so that was a really fun experience. So like overall, even though I went 6-7 in day 2, I actually had a fantastic time in day 2. And got to hang out with a lot of people in the community and stuff. So
that's great.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you had it. If you guys are just getting here, it's because maybe you're not a person that likes tournament reports. And you skipped forward to this spot. So
Let's talk pony.
Let's talk pony. Before we even get into that, let's talk about the breakdown of this meta. And then we'll obviously jump into the most exciting deck from the format that everybody wants to hear about. Before we get there, is there anything you want to talk about at this point?
I'll talk about casting real quick.
Yeah, let's hit it. Yeah, before we jump into the event, let's hear it because we just did his experience, yours, and then we'll jump into the event. I'll break down some stuff.
Yeah, that was different.
Yeah, very different.
It was fun. It's funny. It's people ask me, do I miss competing a couple times, and I said I missed the rewarding feeling I got from making day 2 or making top 8. Obviously, I'm just casting. I am just working essentially. The entire time. And for those who don't know, I'm actually not that extroverted of a person. I can be outgoing, and so for me, putting out an outgoing thing literally 10, 12 hours, the entire getting there at 7 a.m. and going until 8 or 9 p.m. It's very taxing on me. I mean, you can hear both my voice and you can see my energy. I'm very tired. And also, you can tell that I'm a little different on casting. And casting, you want it to be a little more exciting. You want it to be interesting. You want it to sound interesting. So keeping up my own energy during that, it was just different. I don't mind it. I mean, I also don't mind interacting with the community. Thanks to all the community members who also said, like, are you done competing completely? I was like, no, I just didn't, like, why are you doing this? Like, and I was just like, honestly, just wanted to give it a shot. Wanted to see. I am competing less, obviously. I mean, I took this one to cast instead of grind it out, but it was really cool. I will say some lore that occurred from Ascent Houston is that I was the one that personally knocked main deck Dan out of top 8, and I did not know that, and I revealed that on stream.
I watched that. That was hilarious.
That was a very funny live moment.
So sorry.
Which, to Dan's defense, he would have destroyed us.
Oh,
it would not have been close.
I know. Though that's
actually saying
telling me in the car ride home from the airport. And I was like, oh, that's too bad. And then Isaac was like, but he was on hybrid Merlin.
He would have won the event.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
So I guess a little bit of shout out to Limelight because he's the one that I ID'd with.
Shout out to
He said, "Can we please IDs that way we can, I can be part of top 8." And I said yes. But I almost played him. I was this close to playing him because I knew if I beat him, it guaranteed you. Even though
I was guaranteed, we didn't know it.
We didn't know it. Because we weren't as good at breaker math.
Plus it gets you a higher seed for day 2 and all that kind of stuff. Always a good thing.
I think at the end of the day, I was still like first or second seed.
You might have been.
I think you were first. I was second.
I was third.
Yeah. Is that what it was? Yeah.
I think. Wait.
That sounds right.
That's why we couldn't play.
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So that was funny. Casting is different. I have I said it right there. I have some vocal tics. I think they're kind of called, where you say the same thing a lot of times. Mine is, Yeah. I used to have a much worse one, which was, it's one of those kind of things, which is a much longer one to have. It's just one of those kind of things where X, Y, Z. So mine is, and...
Well, you don't have a ton of experience with public speaking at all, do you? Like, as far as
I used to do some teaching lightly. And like I would say like more like presentation type stuff. So I don't have like actual public speaking super big experience.
A lot of people have those.
But I've noticed vocal tics of mine in the past, and people point out to me, and I've been able to remove them. I worked so hard to try to remove, from my vocabulary after day 1. That's when I found out. When Cam came up to me, I literally came off. We were doing a group meetup about that, and I said, okay, I know I have something that I say all the time. I don't know what it is because I can't tell what is it. Everyone didn't know what it was until Cam goes, "You're a you-knower," and everyone's like, "Yes." So But Dan said, he goes, It's not even noticeable though. It's how I speak, and it's also part of I think it's a Midwestern thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So and I'm saying it here. And now you guys are gonna pick up on it probably a little bit too much, which maybe I shouldn't have been outing myself like this. But it's something I'm gonna try to remove if I want to do.
I think you still did an incredible job
going forward.
It was awesome having you there with all the insight that you were able to give.
Yeah, it's different being in a place of trying to understand a player's specific play. And not obviously just saying that was wrong. That was a wrong decision or a misplay. While it might have been, we are lucky enough watching the stream, and those also there watching the stream get a bird's eye view.
You get to see everything.
You get to see. You saw what the opponent's material deck was. You see the cards in hand. You knew their cards in memory from both sides. You know the decks they're on. Literally, I have their deck list in front of me, and so that was different in that case. Talked about how I have certain phrases, and it's also hard for me to commentate and personally on something that's happened for the past like three streams three things I just commented on, that's the exact same situation, the exact same and or deck, and trying to make it sound unique or different or interesting to people watching, because someone sits down and goes, oh, it's another Vanitas versus another level 3 deck.
I mean, how like it would have been interesting if there was a counter for how many times Rile the Abyss was played when you were commentating. And it's like how many times can you talk about that, right?
If you missed the casting of Boston, here's me recreating it one of the many times. So what the player here is going to do, they're going to play Riley the Abyss. They're going to get rid of that limit. They're going to draw for turn first, or draw from Riley the Abyss, and then they're going to be discarding that Undying Dreams, that Liminal Guide. They're going to get that Floating Memory to go to level 1 and get that Liminal Guide on board, which is an ally, and then that ally actually gets them to draw a card.
Wow, that's crazy.
Before the Recollection, and allows them to even play more stuff in Recollection to gain so much more value. I mean, this is exactly what this deck wants to do.
Yeah,
that's basically it. That's all I said all weekend long.
Yeah,
and
there's got to be a Rile in almost every single stream match from that tournament.
Almost. Yeah.
It's Vanitas, Woja, level 3 decks.
We didn't have like a Wind versus Water. The Water deck that was on stream played against the Rile deck.
Yeah.
Wind Tristan was on, I think.
Yes, it was on.
But it was against a Rile deck.
It was a Asuna versus versus the Vandy deck that has Riles in it.
Yeah. So basically just Rile over and over and over again.
It was a lot of Rile. I mean, before we get into the actual breakdown, like Rile got moved to Category 2. Right at the end of the event, which maybe we talk about that first, then I'll break down the event.
We're gonna talk about banner restrictions probably next week. This is already getting to an hour long, by the way.
I think we're past an hour.
Yeah. So let's talk about that Vanitas. Ponitas. I was talking to Dan because he says Vanitas. I say Vanitas.
Yeah.
I think Vanitas is right. So he said, I say I Ponitas.
Ponitas is Ponitas is better, especially because it's the play on the mon. So
an IP.
An IP that we can't talk about. There was a lot of fire. I'm not going to break down champions. If you want, go to sylvie.gg to look at all of these stats. There's tons. Really, really cool. He's already got it all on there. It's really easy to read. I just wanted to do the fire, wind, water breakdown because I think that's an easy one. 67.6% was fire. That's probably the highest rep we have seen. Probably pretty close.
We've seen wind really
We have seen some wind ones too. So this might not even be the most. And maybe one of you guys can figure that out for us. That'd be awesome. Wind was at 21.5%, with water at an all-time low probably since early on in the game at 10.9%.
Maybe Sylvie.gg can add a feature for the top big events with the largest percentages.
Ooh,
so
that's
three total events. It'd be a fire event, a water event, and a wind event. What the highest percentage of all those, and just like on some special screen.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make extra work for you.
Yeah, take that, Zach. That all being said, let's talk about this deck. So I got to watch it in action a lot because I watched the entire broadcast. I never turned it off. I was the number one. If you guys looked at the chat ever, it was always me. When I walked away for a little bit, some other people jumped up to one, but then I came back and got it back. So I was number one for most of the stuff until the end.
I saw you in there in chat when I was taking notes.
Oh yeah, I was in there. But this is really cool because this is a fire Vanitas deck, which is something we haven't seen before. We've seen water, which was one of my favorite decks that ever came through this game.
We've seen wind.
We've seen wind, and man, what a good time to be alive to play Serene Wind Vanitas. But now we've got fire, which is really cool because we've seen the other two, right? So it's cool to see another one. But this deck, basically, how its entire thing works is it plays into the whole like hate bears taxation Vanitas thing. It doesn't play like Blessed Clergy or Eternal Magistrate or things like that because it is a fire deck that plays a little bit of wind.
Why is this deck playing Blessed Clergy?
Because it's hard to imbue.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you have to imbue it. You still can. But
I forgot to.
And it's because you go to 0 cards.
Well, I know. Well, but you go 0 cards, but you're going down to from level 2. You play a 2-cost ally to go to 3. Chess Clubs mentioned that is the main thing. That's why they have the horses in there. Right. But the imbue thing, I forgot about that.
Yeah. If it wasn't imbue, it'd be in the deck 100%. And this deck would be way more toxic than it already is. But so it's not a fun deck to play against. It's really cool to watch, obviously, but these kind of decks historically aren't great play patterns as far as I think it was super cool to watch. It was very fun. It was a very unique deck that was picked perfectly for this event. Yeah. It was meant to capitalize on incredibly greedy level 3 Ryle decks that are not playing the correct defensives to deal with a turn 2 hit for 3 that taxations your materializations. And that is what these Ryle decks are all about. The mat deck is the most important thing in their deck.
Yeah.
Their deck is basically getting them 2-3, and then they have all their endgame cards and their mat deck, and that's it. And this makes it so these guys go turn 1, play a net neutral +1 card in Ryle, Fluffy Shopkeep, Creative. Do they play Creative Shock? I think they do.
They do.
So they play all of that. They're trying to just go net neutral. And then next turn, this is going first, right? They level up, and then they go Dungeon Guide or Beseech, which gets rid of 2 cards, leaves 3 in their hand. They play whatever 2-drop. They play a million 2-drops in their deck.
They have Embercrypt Burn to get rid of the floating memory possibly from a graveyard. 2,
just more taxation, basically.
3 different horses, and British Queen Trotter specifically if they have a Dungeon Guide or a Liminal Guide on board.
Yep.
And then
Fractal of Sparks, Volda,
preferably Dailu.
Yeah,
over Red Hair because it has that 1 extra life.
Yes, it's very, very
so
good.
4 total life there. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so they get to do all of that, right? And then what they do from there is they get rid of their cards, and now they go to literally 0 influence, maybe 1 influence.
0 or 1 influence. And if they fast cured, they get able to use that as floating memory, and then get the extra 1 damage from level 2 Vanitas.
Yep, which is pretty cool. It does come up. But yeah, they go to nothing, and then now what they are doing is every turn, the material deck they play draws them a card, and they swing with Vanitas and tax your materializations by 1.
And hit you for 3.
So they're going to kill you slowly.
Yeah.
Like, you are going to die.
They have at least a 10-turn clock.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Is they're making it so much harder for you to do your game and to keep your influence up because they know they're going to no influence.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, if I get a horse down and Vanny and I'm just every turn hitting you for 6 and taxing you so that now the only way you can efficiently level up, because I'm also a sensor deck, so I get to 3 and then I bring out sensor, and now you can't use the floating to help you. I'm taxing you, no floating allowed, no liminal guides to help you. You're just in a bad spot, right?
And then let me bring out GCRs and baubles to start building up a little bit more influence.
They don't need many cards.
No.
Because then they hit the 3, and now they have Searing Rebukes defensively, which like can just end the game because you're like, okay, well, I guess I'll swing into you with my Dungeon God I just played. And they're like, cool, take 3. And then Fractal myself, take another 3, kill you with Vanitas, right? It is a really cool, like, aggro tempo-based deck that puts this hard taxation on these greedy decks. Yeah. Now, a lot of people were like, oh no, this deck is broken. Like, messaging me personally saying, how do we beat this deck? In our level 3 chat saying, like, how does the meta have to adapt to beat this deck? This deck's crazy. It's obviously overpowered. 5 of them were in top 8. And the thing to that is that's not true.
Yeah, the answer is you become Bobby Tortilla.
Yeah. No. You play... You have to play very efficiently. You know exactly what their deck's doing. They are not trying to hide anything. Yeah. There is no weird tech counterplay that they are doing. They are going hard to Vanny 3 and taxing you. And that is their play.
It is the most linear deck that we have seen in Grand Archives history. And I want to say that this deck was extraordinarily well built.
Yeah.
And was an amazing meta call.
Yeah.
So I want those points to be heard.
Shout out to Chess Club.
I want those points to be heard before I say my next thing that gets taken out of context because it was a very good deck. It was very, very well built. It was very, very good. Like, they obviously did amazing.
Yeah.
It is also the worst deck that we've ever seen in Grand Archives history. It is, though, because...
Library Witch, Fluffy Shopkeep, Stalwarts, Peaceful Reunion, Frostbind, Tidal Locks, Cerulean Decrees, Bullfrogs, Farsome Paladins. Like, there's so many things.
Water can sideboard this card that stops a material deck activation. So you can literally just get rid of their Vanny level 3,
and then they lose the
game right there. If you're playing, like, a deck that just is not a level 3 deck and can do just heavy swings or something like that, right? If you're playing against like a seal deck that just has 4 heavy swing in the deck, they might just go, okay, just kill you. There's a lot of, once you know the deck strategy and how it plays, there's gonna be a lot more interaction.
And we see that in the finals. Pickle Sword actually did one of the things that we talked about was how excellently well Pickle Sword tried to adapt once he recognized it was double fluffy Shopkeep on the board from Bobby, and that, I can't just do the same thing we've been doing all day long and all day yesterday. I have to try to figure out how to build up an influence to then go and try to take board, then attack into the enemy champion.
And by then it's too late.
Like that's why I want to be clear. Like, Chess Club played amazing.
Yes.
They built a very good deck for this event. And it was a great meta call. Going forward, there is so much interaction with this deck. Once it is a known deck, it is just
there's so much interaction, but it's something that if ever forgotten, is again really strong.
Well, and it's almost similar like one of the other breakout decks of the event, Jin. Even though it didn't get a top 8, it did get a lot of high really placing day 2s. It did very well in this event. But again, it loses to very specific techs. And so now that Jin's kind of like out there and not just this bad random rogue deck anymore, people are going to tech for it and it's going to get worse. I don't think Jin's going to become like as unplayable as this Vanitas deck, but I'm almost certain I won't be bringing Jin to any regionals or Ascents for a long time. No guarantees, of course, but that is my reaction to it. Just like I would not be touching Vanitas.
Yeah.
There's no way that you could catch me bringing Vanitas to any, because
no, this deck, it was great. It like you said, it was an incredible meta call.
Yeah.
This is probably, as far as like a new deck that was built to fight a meta, this is the best meta call we've seen.
And it was very innovative.
Yeah.
It was a cool idea, and they built the deck to, like I said earlier, I did not count on my Vanitas opponents bricking, not doing their strategy.
Yeah.
I went into my games against them thinking they are going to do their thing.
Yeah.
I hope I draw really well for my own thing.
This honestly is the first meta call that I have seen, like watching from the outside, that was similar to our Houston call. Where we used to call, we'd like, that deck was bad.
No, because I literally had a freak out before Houston because he was the newest of the GA players, and he built really bad decks back in the Bay. Yeah. Still kind of does, but that's because he tries to build bad decks, basically.
I try to make
builds good decks too.
Innovative decks.
Yeah. But so like me and you, well, all three of us have been testing a lot, but me and you were like deck building a ton, like going over like all the gauntlet and all that kind of stuff. And then we eventually could just like very slowly shifted this Wind Allies deck that I had been playing in like the DOA regional circuit to like this like kind of just hot garbage pile of a mess. But like it was winning, and we were like, this is really weird. Like this list on paper, in theory, just looks awful.
Yeah.
And then we were like testing it. It was doing really well. We were like, dude, I think we're bringing this to Houston.
Yeah.
And then Isaac, in one of our testing sessions, comes up and says, hey, look at like the second deck I ever built for GA, which he'd never built good decks back then.
Yeah.
It's like almost card for card this list that we're playing. And I literally was like, we can't play this list. Like, there's no way. I spiraled so hard.
You know, the funny thing is, because it had level 2 Mordred in it.
Yeah.
That's what it, and so when we put level 2 Lorraine in our list instead, obviously much better. Yeah. But that's also a big reason why.
But like the main deck was like incredibly similar. Yeah. It was very funny. And so like I think it is.
But that was a Wind Allies list. Yeah. That was like 50 plus allies, a hanky special, right? Yeah. But it literally lost to a board wipe.
Yeah.
If we got flame sweeped, we lost the game.
Scoop.
But everybody was on these, and even Rye was cutting. They weren't playing Anger the Skies or Purge.
Yeah. Except for Sean.
Except for Sean, which you beat Sean and lost to Sean, didn't you? Did you beat him both times?
I almost think I beat him both times, actually.
Oh, well, that's great. But nobody was on Merlin. Like hybrid Merlin wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
Merlins weren't playing Flame Sweep.
Other than Midnight Day.
And this is all a really good point though, because like I'm literally sitting here being like, Vanitas is never going to be a good deck again. But we said that about Wind Allies when we did Houston. We were like, this was purely a meta call. It's a bad deck, but no one respected it. No one had a text for it. And then Wind Allies continued to be one of the best decks for a very long time. So there's a chance that happens with Vanitas as well. I do feel though that this does have more techs and more options, because like Wind Allies was one of the best decks in the format, but still had a hard Flame Sweep matchup. Like, but just Flame Sweep wasn't like dominating meta or something.
And specifically, board sweeps were a lot less then too.
Yeah,
right.
We didn't have as many.
And so, but we saw how poorly we started to see Wind Allies do, even though it was popular. But if it got matched up into that Wind on Assassin deck with the Art of War and Ensnaring Fumes,
right,
like a board wipe. Yeah. Well, I'm saying we didn't have counters to it.
Yeah.
The only counter was really Flame Sweep, and that's why I kept doing well.
Yeah. There was basically one deck in the format that countered it, and not everyone wanted to play that deck, so Wind Allies was still really popular.
So now there's more, and that's why it does, has a little more risky matchups. But the same thing with Vanitas. This is different because there's so many more generic cards you can play that still beat it.
Literally any water deck at all can just sideboard that, negate Vanitas level 3 card. You know, and
just,
like
the thing is they activate it.
Right.
So like any counterspell stops it.
Right.
And even if they wait, like Decree stops the 3 attack. You just go -3 and they go, oh. And then you go,
water in general just has so many.
And they knew that.
Utility
They'll be the first people to tell you.
But they called it correctly because look how much water was played at the event, right? I do think it is different than Houston.
Yeah.
I do think it will be one of the worst tier 1 decks from Boston going forward.
It's still gonna do well at events because people are still gonna play Ryle. And it's still gonna get a Swiss run where it just plays against Ryle level 3 decks. Boom, 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 boom. And just.
But some of those Ryle decks might be on a little more tech.
Yes, which I mean they have to.
Like a deflecting edge.
Like a deflecting edge, man.
I mean, Fluffy can go in Jin.
Yeah.
You know, like Fluffy can go in a lot of decks. Obviously, it's best.
Fluffy's the MVP, as a lot of people were saying.
Fluffy is a good card. I'll be super transparent. I've been getting a little stash of Fluffy upkeeps. I've been not buying out the markets, but when I see them in people's trade binders and stuff, I'm like, I want that one. Because I want to have like 30 Fluffy shopkeeps so I don't have to make proxies in decks. And if it hits a $20 card eventually or something, then I'll sell off some extras, right? But like, it's like $5 right now or something. I've been like, that card's good.
But that kind of leads us into how good Ryle is, but we'll talk about that next time. And this podcast is getting long, and I am very tired. I don't know if you, no offense, you were talking, I was about to fall asleep.
I mean, but we also next week's podcast, we're going to touch on the ban list, the Proxies Vault card, Merlin Recollection deck. Like, there's a lot of things to talk about. But we want to be more critical thinking about all this kind of stuff. So, and this podcast actually,
I want to be awake when I think about the cards.
This was a great event. It was super cool. I was super bummed to miss it. A lot of breakout decks, a lot of representation by Fire, which a lot of people, we haven't seen that in a minute. So cool to see Fire do so well. We'll see what happens. We'll probably talk about future meta predictions and things like that. Last thing before we leave.
Yes.
Michigan Regional tickets.
Yes. Buy your Michigan Regional
tickets. They are selling actually incredibly fast right now. We have had a huge influx. We are getting a lot closer to our 2K
goal.
So, and I know that there's at least like 16 people that have not bought their tickets.
Buy your tickets.
So buy your tickets because it does sell out.
There's a couple more that talked to me. Like at least 3 people at Ascent that were saying like, hey, I'm coming to Michigan Regionals. I was like, have you bought your ticket yet? And they were like, no. So there's a lot of unsold but going to sell tickets out there. So.
Sick.
It's moving fast. So
we should hit 2K.
I think we're gonna
really cool.
Honestly, I think
please buy your tickets. It also helps us prepare for what we need to have there at the event. Please buy them if you're gonna even if there's just a chance you come, or a high chance you come, please do so.
No, thank you guys so much. You want to walk us out, Isaac?
Yes. Thank you for joining us on the Team True podcast.
Wow.
Sponsored by Weebs of the Shore, a card game company.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Grand Archive.
Yeah, Grand Archive card game company.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.